Welcome back to the Power Awakening podcast with Eirik. We continue our discussion about power awakening, power losses, and all the topics around how to be mindful. We had an episode where we were talking about becoming a father and all the difficulties, all the turbulent feelings that coming up in that time. Can you please bring us into this in this phase of your life when you were facing the difficulties of becoming a father? How did you find help to assist you on this new journey? What can you recommend to people? But let's start from all the fears, all the doubts and everything that people used to go in, some of them, to see this topic a little bit closer, because it's many men, and we all know there is many couples who just, let's say, without planning, they will become a father. And that can be, for sure, shocking and all these things together. So let's give some assistance for these people and those who will be in this shoe later.
Sure. Well, I mentioned that I was looking on that bridge and having these suicidal thoughts. And what I found looking down was that I have a choice. I can choose to let this situation of becoming a father without knowing or choosing for myself that that is what I wanted to do. At that moment, I could have chosen to just be a victim. I could have chosen to, okay, this is what I've chosen. Now I just have to deal with it and try to make it work, you know. Or I could choose to, okay, well, I have less time right now. I have less sleep right now. I have less energy. So I can optimize my routines to maximize my energy, so I can have enough energy for my kids and my business and my private life and all of it. You know, you can choose to go down the lane of feeling sorry for yourself, or you can choose to use that energy to optimize your reality. So I chose to optimize my reality. I think the first, from my son was born until he was 5, I became this warrior of energy. So at any moment I could do a Kundalini yoga, or a morning routine, or some kind of breath work, or get a session one-to-one, talk to someone, or go to the gym and work out to gain more energy. And I think when it comes down to it all, it's all about energy. How do you optimize your energy? Do you put more energy into your body, your mind, and emotions, or do you deplete? And so I basically just became this warrior of maximizing my energy and being very efficient with my energy. So setting boundaries was very important, was very key for me, to say no to things that was energy draining and not lifting my momentum, and saying yes to the things that would lift my momentum. So in that period, I talked to friends that were very positive. I talked to friends that was very trustworthy, so I could open up about my feelings. It's very popular in society today that you should be open and share everything with everyone. We go to men's circles, we go to retreats, we go to ceremonies, and everybody's sharing all the time. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should share just to share. You should only share to people that are willing to listen. If you don't share to people who are willing to listen, you're actually depleting your energy and you're wasting your time. So I think people should be very selective about that. So my advice to people who have become a father or is a father is to write down the names of 5 people, and those 5 people are very good with energy, they're very good listeners, they're very trustworthy, and they are willing to grow, and they're willing to listen to you. I think that's a key start. That could be a friend, that could be a father, that could be a brother, it could be a coach, it could be a psychologist, or it could be just someone that you know in your business environment that you can ask and reach out for help. And I think the biggest advice I could give, there's a lot of big advices here now, everything is bigger and bigger and the biggest, is to actually ask for help. It's like, hey, I need some help. This is really hard for me to ask, but I really need some help. Can you help me? And then go from there. That first step is the toughest one, but it's the most important step to take. Because once you ask for help, people would love to help you, unless you're an asshole.
So remember to maintain the connections.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to give back. Yeah.
And that was my experience with the last men's group this Monday. That those who came down to the Power Awakening, they just needed to be in a group, in a supportive group where people listening, supporting, asking what they feel that can help them to move forward, to get out of the negative circle. And it was so beautiful to see it, and I just give feedback from all of them. Like, it was so beautiful to see the whole thing as they open up, as they asked, as they share. They showed the vulnerability. Some of them were new, and when they were sharing, they said they don't know everybody yet, so they didn't know how much to share, but slowly. And it was good that everybody were aware that it's a sensitive topic. So I was really glad that he said that it's very hard to speak out this one, but he did. And then he got a lot of support. One person said, I know this situation, I was in this one. I know, I feel it.
This is so beautiful.
And I just saw on the face of this guy that he was so happy that he received the love, basically, care. So I was just like sitting and watching this, like, wow, that's why I'm glad to organize this. Yeah.
And it's important work. It's very important work. It's very needed. You know, suicide rates are rising, and people are lonely. You know, people are depressed, even though they don't think they're depressed. They still keep on working and being successful in the physical material world, but a lot of people are depressed without knowing. And just the last couple of weeks, like the last 8-9 days, I've had 5 calls with very highly successful people. They have everything. They have the job, they have the career, they have the business, they have the relationship, they have the family, they have it all. But they're very high achievers. And all of these 5, it's like, I feel lonely. I feel alone in what I'm doing, you know? And it's so important to have events like what you have, and in bigger groups, and what I have. If it's a big group with 300 people, or if it's a small group with just 2 people, we just need to meet and connect and get the conversations going and flowing. It's so needed, because the more chaos there is in the world, with like threatening of wars and inflation and markeds handelskrig, like the war of merchants between the countries, of the prices everywhere, like the more these conflicts are arising, people get scared. And it's not just the mind that gets scared, because you can feel like, yeah, I got it together, or you can emotionally feel I got it together, but your body will respond to conflict, and your body will be stressed even though you don't feel it or can sense it, because it's this subtle frequency in the background that is like making you restless. and making you feel certain things that you not necessarily will be connected to. So your body can pick up these stresses. So it's so important to come together.
I'm just thinking in this workshop, what was the second most important? Opening up was first, seeing that the people are with me, they're listening to me, and caring, loving. But the second one, what was basically causing depressive feelings, is the negative spiral, the inner voice, that is not the intuition we're talking about, is the whatever we call it. You can call it ego or whatever, just the confused mind. And to talk about it, it's important because people can give good questions, like why are these, where are these, whatever they feel. Because the good thing that we are feeling there. We're not thinking there, we're feeling. Like, what can I ask? What is this? Or where is this from? I can just ask if I don't have any other clue. And just assist the brothers out from the negative spiral, basically, and just talk. So he didn't said, help me. He just shared. And people just asked or just supported. So speaking with those people who's caring and loving, because we are together in this shit, and I'm not alone with my difficulties. We have difficulties all. So I can relate to this and that and that. So sharing, talking, as you said in the previous episode, with your father.
Yeah. Water, it's like water. We're drinking water, right? If the water is still, it gets unhealthy. So still water will have less oxygen. Okay, so if the currents in the ocean slow down, there's going to be parts everywhere in the world where there's going to be dead water, which means it's toxic. So the fish will die, etc., etc. That's one of the biggest thing with the climate changes is the risk that the currents are slowing off so much, and it's the same with our emotions. If you don't create motion in our emotions, it's called emotions for a reason, energy in motion. If you don't create motion in the emotion, it's going to go still, and then it's just going to implode in yourself, and then you're going to explode.
That's a good picture to imagine how this refreshing yourself with being outside, being connected to others, and move these things inside.
Yeah.
And
that's why breathing and breath work is so important, because you're constantly creating flow in the oxygen and the carbon dioxide.
So starting with the body to awaken basically some power and energy, move some energy, and then we continue with the emotional and the psychological part.
Well, emotions and feelings are in the body. They're not in your head.
Yeah.
So the psychologist or the psychiatrist or science will say that all emotions are processed in the brain. Well, they're just processed. It's just like a computer machine that is being aware of what's going on. But they're stored everywhere in the body, in the bones, in the muscles, in the ligaments. Everywhere there's a storage of emotions. So we need to get those moving. That's why I love your haka stuff. Get it out.
I wanted to mention that during these sessions, I created my power awakening ritual based on intuition. So all the movements, all the hitting, all body parts I made it intuitively, but it turned out that it's we just hit the right spots. So that helps. For example, I helped the body to awaken the power and move the energy. But we had one guy in this group as well who said exactly what you mentioned, that he felt that when he don't stand up or don't protect his boundaries and all this, he have tensions in the body, and he found out that haka works, and this works, but he also go to have the improv dance to move the things out and just to be soft again. So it's really good. I love his process because he's sharing that how was it before. he had a lot of things stuck, lots of depression, like very, very dark. And then it started to be lighter and lighter and lighter because he's using more places to just feel good.
Yeah.
And that's what I said in the previous episode, that when people looking for the sunshine, and if it's not there, I feel bad. That sucks. Then you're looking for something outside to make you happy.
Yeah.
Because what we have to do is to reach the point that I'm happy, to get out all the things that are blocking me from happiness, to being active, being healthy, and all this. Because then sun is secondary.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that the science, and the neuroscience specifically, is supporting this kind of work. It's supporting the breath work, it's supporting the movement, it's supporting all the somatic stuff. Because when you look at the brain, and all the studies of brain, like you have a center for language, you have a center for analytical experience, you even have a center in your brain which allows you to feel connection to God, you know, and there's a center for mathematics, there's a center for this, etc. So you can, if you take the brain and you can separate it and analyze all the different functions of the brain, where the emotions are stored, where fear is stored, etc., 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 right? The most common task in the brain is movement. So the common denominator for everything that's happening here is continuous movement. More movement, more movement. It's not all these different parts that are important. The most important thing in the brain's function is to create continuous movement. And I think that one of the biggest problems society have in general is that we conclude this is this. This is a table. Well, it could also be a piece of plank with 4 legs. That's not a table. That's something completely different. So we conclude that everything is something. You're a man. I'm a man. I'm a man with a mustache. You know, we decide that this is what I am. I speak loud. Yeah, but I'm also very emotional and sensitive. So we have a tendency to look for the box, the definition, right? And that's the biggest thing, which is the biggest problem with humans, ourselves, is that we jump to judgment and conclusion very quickly. When I meet you, I can see, oh, here's a guy with long hair, he has a tattoo on his neck, he's dressed like this, he could be a hippie, he could be a spiritual guy, he could be a tech investor from Silicon Valley, because the brain is looking for judgment, right? Or we're trained to look for. But I can also ask myself a question when I come into the door, and I can say, who is this guy really behind the hair and the tattoos? Who is he really? What is he really about? And that creates motion. And our brain is primed to create motion, constant movement. And that stimulates the curiosity, and that stimulates the openness, and we get more answers. The next question is actually the next answer you're looking for.
Are you interested in this topic? Come to our events and follow this channel as well as the social media of Invest in Norway. See you soon. Oh, that's good that you said, because it's just brought up in my mind that I like the relationships that is like active, moving. I don't like static things. I like when we move together, we are curious together, and all these things. So that's what came up. Like, I like that one because I don't like the static things. Just like the water, if it's just standing, it's that's my work. It's very, very active. I'm at the sea, everything moving, lots of things happening. I have to be on it. Thank you for bringing up. It's really good to know this, and I hope that makes people move. What I really liked, one time, one of the workshop, a guy shared that 15 minutes ago I was laying on the couch at the TV, and I was thinking to come or not to the workshop, and he was so happy that he decided to move and come.
Exactly.
And I was also very happy, like, oh yes, you are amazing. And that guy, he was, I think, like 3-4 times, even 5 times at the workshop, and he completely changed from like being very inactive to being active, being outside, and find tools that make him happy and move. So it was also a good, refreshing feeling also for me seeing this.
And the funny thing that comes to mind is that when you start moving towards feeling better with yourself, you need to slow down. So that's the paradox, right? So in order to feel better about yourself, you need to slow down so you can be connected to what is moving within you. And the funny is that when you really slow down, and you slow down so much that you're almost feeling that you're static, that's when the movement starts. Because then you start feeling the inner movement so strongly. And once you become a master of moving that slow, it's so much leverage towards happiness. And it's also leverage if you want to set boundaries with people. So if someone is coming to you with energy that you don't want, you just look them in the eye and you're really slow and you say nothing. And then you look them in the eye and it's like, how are you really doing? They jump. So it's also a really awesome tool to set boundaries with people that have bad intentions or bad agendas or looking to score something or get something from you or push you away, or power play is very common. So it's a good tool for that too.
Yeah, that's
So when you do the inner development work, you excel in your career as well, with your ambitions, in your business. Like, literally up there.
That's a good motivation for sure.
Yeah, you'll make tons of money if you go into inner development work, period. That's just a fact. If you keep on moving, you will get the life you want. You'll become highly successful if you do the inner work, because not so many people do the inner work well.
And it's interesting that being static, not doing inner work, not going to workshops, not going to anything, just do the everyday routine in life. Actually, yeah, those stay.
Those what?
Those stay static.
Yeah.
They stay on that level.
Yep.
So if you want to,
Which is fine.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
it's the path.
But I want something else.
Yeah.
You want something else.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I'm really grateful that I'm active.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you for this body. It's amazing what we can do.
Yeah, for last time you mentioned that you are very mindful during these physical exercises, and grateful by doing all the things you can. And I was also thinking that after a hard workout, when I lift hundreds of kilos in case of deadlift included, or squat sessions, at night I just have one of this important topic of the day, like I'm grateful that I have this body that's functioning, that I can lift weights, I can move freely. I have all this in mind.
Yes.
Just to make you feel good.
Same here.
So ask yourself now, why are you grateful for today? One thing, please. Usually it takes a few seconds. Hopefully everybody have one. And it's a really good mental training. Every time if you go to sleep, if you go to sleep with gratitude in your mind and you fall asleep, then you basically you end the day with a positive mind, and you go into the sleep with that.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yep. Mind over matter.
How about with the substances, just to jump into a new topic?
Sure.
How was it for you? What it gave to you And how did you find alternative methods?
I was bored. So first of all, I was lucky. Well, maybe I wasn't lucky, but I had people around me who were interested in other stuff. So my mom was very alternative seeking. When I was 16 for my birthday, she gave me the Dalai Lama's book of the Dead and the Living, which was a heavy read for a 16-year-old. So I just wrote I just read the first paragraph, and I was like, nope, saving that one until I'm older. So I had a mom that was very alternative oriented. But it wasn't until I got really bored. I was bored of like every Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, Saturday, people were drinking, you know. So I was just bored. Things were just getting repeated. People got drunk. They said the same things, same music, same dancing. It was almost like people were like goldfishes, you know. It's like, why do you keep on doing the things? It's the same stuff. You have some fun. Maybe you get laid. Maybe you go dancing. But the next day you're like really sick and you forgot everything. And then the next week you repeat it all. So to me it was like, why are we repeating this same stuff? We're not getting new experiences. We're not getting new ideas. We're not getting any growth. Why are we just keep on doing it? It's almost like the alcohol turned everybody into a goldfish. So I pulled back and I watched this and I was like, this is boring. So me being bored with the communities and environments who were using alcohol as their means of pleasure, that created the distance and basically led me to move out of the country for 6 years. I went to Australia to study chiropractic, but basically I wanted to get out of Norway because it was the drinking culture was too bad. And that's where I discovered a lot of the people and the communities and the groups that were into more holistic health and celebrating life without any substances, and meditation was on every street corner. Breath work was starting to grow. So it was more alternative focus in Australia.
Then it can be a whole episode, these 6 years, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
It was interesting that moving out from poisoning to the healthy way of living, because like alcohol is a neurotoxin, like we also know this finally, it's very well known. Like I think in our communities and within those who's conscious already, because if you would put this sign front of the bar, like alcohol is a poison to your body, people would not sit in the pub and drink all these things.
I think they will.
Actually,
I think they will, because
thing,
people are like, "Are you going to tell me what to do? I'm going to drink." No, that's fine.
That's your life.
And the thing is, like, I don't want people to stop drinking. I want people to be happy.
Yeah.
If that involves they drinking less, yeah, that's a good choice. But I don't necessarily see the alcohol people as a problem. It's like they have pain, and whenever they want to get out of their pain or their boredom, that's up to them. You know, I think it's important to embrace everybody who has an addiction, because they won't understand it until they get it. You know, and putting up prohibition signs or telling them what to do, I think it's actually counterproductive.
That's what I used to tell one of my friends who's drinking alcohol a lot. He looks like 60, not just what I say. I used to show his picture, some of my colleagues, like, what do you think, how old is this guy? And all of them say like, 55, 65, and he's 40.
There we go.
And he's so bad. And I used to tell him, because I really love him, he has a big heart, but he just have lots of trauma that he didn't process yet.
Yes, and that's where the addiction comes in.
Yeah.
Trauma leads to addiction.
And then I used to say, I want you to drink less and do something with your things inside that I know a lot, because I want you as a friend and not remembering you as a friend.
Yeah.
Because where you go, it's I see it's down.
Yep.
So I have always emotional moments when I think about him, because he's just a really, really good guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where men's groups and friends comes into the picture.
Yeah.
That these people can catch people like this.
Yeah.
He don't go anywhere, so there's no one to catch basically. Him,
Yeah.
just approximately me and one or two person try.
Yeah.
But we are in a big distance, so that's why it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, some people will. Some people. I think it's important to ask people, like, dude, do you know what you're doing right now? Like, I used to know you like this. Like, are you sure you want to go down that path? That is what it sounded to me that you were doing to him, and that's you like offering a hand. Hey, take my hand. Let's go. And some people will choose to grab your hand and come to your men's group and your retreats. And some people is like, no, I want to just stay down there. And that's okay too. Everybody's going to die sometime, and they get another chance the next time around, you know.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Death is a part of life, you know. There's two things that are sure. You're born and you live, and you die. That's it. That's the two most definite things in his life. Except Wayne Johnson, or what it's called. He's got this living forever experiment thing. He's got 20 doctors supporting him to try to make him live forever. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy is the old school guy, you know, I don't care, I drink, I smoke, and I will die soon and whatever.
Yeah. Everything works as long as you're happy.
Yeah.
And if you're being kind to people on the way. And look after Mother Nature. Because Mother Nature belongs to all of us.
And he do all. That's why I'm so angry that he don't take care of himself. I will send you this video, so you can think twice or whatever needed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening to us. And soon we will continue. Bye-bye.